Hi, everyone, and welcome. We are so glad you're here for this special live Q&A with the team behind the Leaky Gut Relief Program. I want to welcome Olivia, who's one of our expert functional dietitians, as well as Lucia, and you're going to hear a little bit more from them later on. We decided to come on tonight because we wanted to talk about our program and common questions we always have from patients. And if you're not sure whether this program is actually right for you, I think this is a great Q&A to watch because we'll be sharing some of our personal insights as experts and some of the experiences we've had with our patients we've been able to share with them along their journeys. So if you've been dealing with bloating, food reactions, fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, and you feel like you've tried everything, then stick with us. This session is absolutely for you. So we'll be sharing real client wins, behind the scenes, insights, answering the most common questions we get about gut healing and how our program is different. So we are going to go ahead and get started with some questions. And Lucia, I think you have some for me.
Yes. So Dr. Asamoah, what are some of the most commonly missed root causes or symptoms you see in gut health patients?
Yeah, this is a great question because we always say all diseases begin in the gut, right? But I think, over the years now doing this for over a decade and using a functional medicine approach, I really feel like a lot of diseases end up in the gut or are modulated by the gut. So some of the most commonly missed root cause gut issues that aren't really picked up on don't start necessarily in the gut. And I'm thinking chronic stress, nervous system overload, histamine and mast cell reactions, that mast cell issues that could be related to something else. Low stomach acid is one I think we frequently miss as gastroenterologists and we misdiagnose as reflux. But we in our program, we're trying to dive a little bit more into stealth infections, things like toxins and mold that could be damaging gut lining and changing the microbiome. So the gut symptoms appear to be the endpoint, but it doesn't always start there. And that's why sometimes we miss these diagnoses.
And I think, for Lucia, what are some of even the biggest mindset or emotional shifts clients tend to experience early in the program?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the patients we see when they come and start the program, they're really are used to going to see healthcare professionals and getting a quick fix. And so I think when they come to us and we're really pushing and telling them, no, this is a healing journey, this is a lifestyle change, this is not a quick fix, this is a healing process. I think that is really it's not just a one diet, one pill, one supplement fix. This is a new version 2.0 of you. And I think that it's a layered process and we're going to be peeling back the layers. I always say the layers of the onion and uncovering new things that might pop up, as Dr. Asamoah mentioned, that you might have overlooked or might have never been questioned before. So I think that is what I really love to see in patients, seeing it goes switching from that quick fix mentality to healing is a journey mindset.
Olivia, I've got a question for you. We always hear from patients, and I think they always get nervous about, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to change my diet. I'm going to have to start all these supplements. I've already been on so many supplements from different providers. What's something your clients feel relieved about once they start working with you? I know you're big on food as medicine.
Yeah, so I think it can be really overwhelming coming into any new program and, trying to make these big changes. But I think one of the things I really like to focus on breaking down is that it's not as overwhelming as it seems. You don't have to go and change your entire diet, lifestyle, everything. We work on making really easy replacements to making just small shifts that add up to make things feel manageable and sustainable. Because if it's not manageable for the patient and it's not something you can do on a day-to-day basis, it's not going to matter. So I feel like they tend to be really relieved that they can still enjoy some of their favorite foods while making these meaningful changes that still support the healing process. And, especially with supplements, kind of be looking at everything and going, what is necessary, what is truly a supplement to the diet and not just giving you everything for supplements.
Perfect. I love that. So you kind of meet the patient where they are and start the journey right where they are. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So even another question for you, Dr. Asamoah, what is one test? Because functional medicine testing is really big. So what's one test that you rely on to help guide treatment that's not part of your typical GI care?
Oh, yeah. So in terms of what do I do from a functional integrative medicine standpoint that I don't usually do in GI care, right? I think that's a common question patients always ask, I've already done 5 colonoscopies, 5 EGDs, what are you going to do differently? I think one thing we're missing in gastroenterology gastroenterology generally is understanding how digestion works, right? Really, what's going on. And I think some of the tests that we do to see how well is your digestion working, are you making those pancreatic enzymes, right? How are you breaking down fats, protein, carbohydrates, right? Are you fermenting a lot and producing a lot of gas as you break down these foods? We look, for example, at short chain fatty acids, right? And how that's being produced in your colon in general. So we're looking at things more from a microscopic level in integrative gastroenterology than just like, what did I see on your gross endoscopy? What did I see on your gross colonoscopy? So getting into the minutia of how the digestive tract is working on a cellular level is awesome. And it's not just one test, it's a couple of different tests. And we put it all together, right, ladies? We kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together and then say, okay, this is what we think's going on. So I hope that answers that patient's question.
Okay, this question is for Olivia, and I love this question. I feel like there's a lot out there, but what's one food myth that you love to challenge when working with our clients?
There's so many. I feel like there's so many food myths out there. It's so hard to pick like just one. But I will say one of the biggest one, especially that pertains to this program specifically, is that gluten and dairy are bad for everyone. And everyone should just cut them out completely forever. It's really part of the elimination diet protocol that we have is, yes, trying to cut them out for a short time. But a lot of people are really surprised when they add them back to know that everything is fine and they don't react. It makes no difference for them. So yes, they can be inflammatory for some people, but by no means does everybody need to cut out gluten and dairy, because those are some pretty big, big food groups that a lot of people enjoy. I remember, specifically one patient in the leaky gut group was really nervous about that dairy was going to be her trigger because she loves dairy, and she went through the process, brought it back in, and it was totally fine for her. So I think that's probably the biggest myth that a lot of people have, or a lot of people wonder.
I love that, because when you shift the microbiome, your digestion works better, your motility works better, right? So the goal for us in the leaky gut program is to reverse as much as we can, right? And transform lives through really reversing how the gut is working. And I love that answer. I really do. So this is a tough one, Lucia, because we've had a couple patients with this, right? So what do you do when your patient hits a setback or they think they're not healing fast enough? It's just not going as fast as they like to do. What's your strategy?
Yeah, this is a common one, especially, I feel like it happens a week into the program, and we're like, this is a 3-month
program. Yeah,
it's a 12-week program, and it's like 5 days in, and they're like, nothing has changed. I feel worse. And number one, we usually try to remind them, like I mentioned before, this is a process, a healing process. It's not a quick fix. You didn't get here overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight. But if it's coming up later in the program, I usually ask them, have you been following the protocol? We have a 5-hour protocol. We go back. Where are you on that 5-hour protocol? Be truthful to yourself. Have you actually been following everything that we've said? And then the last thing I always ask is like, where's your communication? Have you been actively communicating with us? Like I always say at the beginning of the program is that this is a lifestyle change, and we can give you all the tools, but it's really up to you what you do outside of meeting with us in your day-to-day. Like, are you shopping in the perimeter of the grocery store? Are you doing your grocery store list? Are you taking your supplements every day? Like, where are you with that? And if not, if you have barriers, are you communicating with us and saying, hey, I'm having a tough time here? So that's my strategy. All right, Dr. V, last question for you specifically. If someone's already tried multiple programs and specialists, what makes this one different?
I think this is a very, very special program. Our focus is integrative gut health, right? So working with a board certified gastroenterologist, you can't go wrong there, because I can look at your endoscopies. I can look at your colonoscopies. I can look at your ultrasounds. I can analyze your CT scans. I can request more tests. And that's why we don't just coach. We actually treat and manage. Like we diagnose, right? We want to make sure that nothing's being missed, nothing serious being missed before we then do a deeper dive. A lot of people come to us and they never really got nutrition coaching. They never got expert help from a dietitian. So they worked with a physician, but they were like, well, they just gave me this handout. But here we have 2 amazing dietitians who will tell you where to go shop, what types of food to buy, what to get online, how to replace this with this, and provide you with recipes that are really aligned with what you're trying to do. So I think that support is amazing. And the third thing thing is we got this group, we got an amazing community. And so every time we start a new program or we welcome new members into the program, we're always so excited because we're like, oh, this person is such a good fit. And our program members connect. They share stories, they share wins, they share challenges, they share recipes, they share ideas, and they see each other's journeys throughout. And I think that's probably one of the best things about the program is that we have people who are suffering from the same symptoms, diarrhea, constipation, bloating, whatever, who now have someone they can talk to that completely understands where they're coming from in a very safe and supportive environment. So that's how I think we're different. And that's why I think we're great.
And this one is kind of related, but going to Lucia, what would you say to someone who is afraid to try again after so many failed attempts?
Yeah, this is also a great one because I feel like this is where growth happens for people. So I kind of get weirdly excited when this has happened, when this is going on for patients, because, they feel like, oh, I'm failing again. And what I always remind them is that you've gotten education, you've gotten tools for your toolbox. We've provided all of this to you. That cannot be taken away from you. You know more now than you did before. So even if you're starting over, even if you have to redo the elimination diet, you're starting at a new baseline. And that baseline is not where you were before. And even if last time you had one win, you learned one thing about your body or a food trigger or something, that is information that you now know for this next time around. And it's just it might be a slower process, but it's just gonna continue to build. And eventually you're gonna be on this healing journey. And that's just part of it, really.
That's great. And I'll save this last question for Olivia. Can you share one client success story that sticks with you up till today, like really just stuck in your head?
One that kind of comes to mind, and really why it comes to mind is I think it's so important to realize like how quickly things can change and how quickly you can feel better. We had one client who came in with a lot of constipation, bloating, gas, poor energy, brain fog, memory issues, like cravings, eczema. So I had skin issues, some food sensitivity. So had a lot going on, felt very, very overwhelmed. And I think the reason this one sticks out to me so much is just having even briefly guidance and accountability and through the whole process. But within a couple weeks, she started feeling better. She started going to the bathroom more. The bloating went down, getting through to the other side. And the only thing that really she realized she couldn't have a lot of was corn. And she's not having any of the brain fog. Her energy is great. One of her goals was she's able to keeping up with her family and her kids, which she doesn't have any issues with now. And she's doing great. She doesn't have any of the same issues that she came in with before. And I think that's really a good one that it's just really emphasizes the importance of the community and how quickly things can change with some guidance.
And simplicity too. I mean, really having that supportive team of you guys as amazing dietitians kind of coaching people through this and just working like, let's not do everything at once. Let's go through the process. Let's go. And, so that really helps because it can be very overwhelming. So let's close with a final thought, guys. If you could tell every person struggling with gut issues one thing that's hard, what would it be, Lucia?
Trust the process. And practice gratitude to be on the healing process.
Love that. Olivia?
I would say it's kind of going back to even the question that Lucia just had is failure should not be your endpoint, which kind of goes off of trusting the process. But, if things revert back, just keep going. Don't give up.
And I think I'm really just echoing everything you guys are saying. You begin a journey, but continue the journey, right? You may have started off somewhere and tried to fix your gut and got disappointed and then found us and joined us and are going to be on this journey. So it's always an evolution. There's always progress made. There's always a next step. And your journey doesn't stop after 3 months. Your journey really is a lifelong journey to better gut health, right? And keeping that microbiome super healthy and making sure you're making the right choices, not just for you, but it usually does kind of echo back, it boomerangs to the rest of your family and your loved ones and everyone. So it is a journey and you can start there. Well, this was really amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who joined. I hope you guys were able to learn a little bit more about the Leaky Gut program or a lot more. Meet our amazing dietitians who are also amazing coaches throughout the program for our patients, Lucia and Olivia. Our Leaky Gut program is a 12-week program. It is a private insurance-free program. The way it's packaged, we don't take insurance. And this basically gives you faster access to deeper testing, nutrition, the coaching and the support that truly moves the needle instead of, having a GI visit and then coming 3 months later. This has been a program and a structure that has worked so well for our patients. So we are currently enrolling for our next Leaky Gut group. And And if what you heard today resonates and you're ready to stop guessing and really start healing, getting the support you need, then the next step is to schedule a complimentary discovery call, or what we call a gut health strategy call with our team. This is a quick 15-minute call to see if this approach is right for you and whether we're the right team. And from there, we'll help you map out what the next steps may be. So we'll put the link in the comments, and you're free to send us a direct message and just type in gut help if you want some more information from us and just ready to get started. We're here, we're listening, and we would love to help. Thanks from everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you for joining.